Hello,
Hello, hello.
welcome to episode 19 of Tiny Toys Tuesday.
Oh, we're almost at the big 20.
Almost at the big 20. So, today we're doing a recap review of the GHB. I'm a little late to this because I was on vacation last week, so everyone's already beat me to the reviews. So, definitely go check out those long, extended, very intricate reviews. Again, we're just going to tier things today. We'll go over the Battlescroll and the FAQs as well as the endless spells because some of those got some pretty big changes.
Yes, they did.
Other than that,
I love it.
what have you been up to, Cameron?
I've been doing a lot of building.
40K?
Both 40K and Age of Sigmar, actually.
Oh, okay. What are we doing for Age of Sigmar? I'm very intrigued.
I bought 2 of the Flesh Eater Court Regiments box, and then I built those.
Nice. Okay.
And that's what I did yesterday.
Is it a good price for what you get?
Yes, especially because the biggest thing you need is the Knights, which are the Cryptors and Crypt Flayers.
Yep.
And you get 6 of them in a box, which
that's pretty good.
Yeah, and most other things only give you 3.
Okay.
And so I was like, yeah, so I bought 2 of them, and then I built 12 Knights.
Nice. Oh, that's a scary thing to think about.
Yep, we'll be seeing them Saturday.
Yes. Hopefully I can be there as well. I'll be taking most likely gets. What I've been up to, I was on vacation last week. We went on a cruise to Alaska, so that was pretty fun. Played since because we're nerds and all. Me and the wife played some MCP on the ship, which was pretty funny. But it was good
Nice,
times.
nice.
It was good times. This week I'm just working on getting my list together for this weekend potentially, as well as very excited about getting my Maggotkin army back, all painted.
Ooh, you're bringing out your Maggotkin.
I might, man. That Rawbringer Coven or whatever it's called, is very intriguing. Very intriguing. I'm tempted.
It's very nice.
So, and they're painted extremely well. So, I'm really excited to get those things on the table. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll just jump into Smite GT. Again, if you haven't signed up, please go sign up soon. You do get a reduced cost if you sign up early, as well as you get to get entered into our $100 raffle. It will end at the end of July, so definitely go do that.
So they only have until the end of this month.
Yes. The other thing, too, is I'm sure me and Camaron are going to be playing quite a bit of Age of Sigmar to figure out what battle plans we want to use, because there are some interesting ones, I will say that.
Yeah. There's some that I look at it and be like, wow, if it was anything but competitive, I think this would be super fun.
Well, I was watching the Warhammer Weekly guys, Vince and Tom and Tyler, and Tom was like, it would be interesting to do since there's so many of those battle plans that you can do where it's either helps your army or hurts it. You could do like 5 of them in a row, like almost like a what is it? What do they call an Iron Maiden or whatever it's called?
It's just an Iron Man competition.
Yes, yeah, Iron Man. That's what it is. To get through these brutal battle plans.
They are pretty brutal.
Yeah. Now that being said, there's some very good ones too. Some of them I'm very interested in playing because I think they're going to be. There's some of the best battle plans I think we've gotten so far. Some of them.
Oh, I 100% agree. These battle plans are very well thought out, and half of them are just
Brutal,
brutally thought
just
out.
brutal. That being said, we'll try to figure out which ones we want to do for the Smite GT. We'll be testing a lot of those. We will also do an extended like battle plan show, maybe next week. None of the battle plans are in this show because I wanted to do that separate because I think there's some more things we can go over with those new battle plans. So we'll probably do that next week. Cool. So then we'll get into our art of the week. I found this guy in one of the forums. I'm gonna pronounce his. I'm gonna not pronounce his name right. Uko Rahun. Um, he's got a lot of stuff. Definitely go check out his Instagram. He's got a lot of cool stuff. As far as paint jobs, looks like he's primarily does 40K stuff, but such intricate paint jobs that this guy does, and pretty cool. So
See, I'm a sucker for dark aesthetic.
yeah,
So
yeah, this is right down your alley. Then, like it's very good. Those Necrons. Oof.
Gotta love the glow.
Yep, spicy. So definitely go check out his page. And then we're gonna get to just a quick overview of our tier list explanation. Obviously, S is almost an auto include, whereas F tier is gonna be never used, right? So, so we'll see how this GHB lines up. I'll get your overview here in a second, Cameron. But I'm sure everyone knows at this point. Again, I'm kind of coming into this late because I was on vacation last week, so most people already know this. But if you're watching this for the first time, it's now a year-long season for 6 months. All the 12 battle plans are brand new. It is a wizard focus. And the spells were updated. Well, not all of them. Most of them were updated. Some of them are still the same. And then we got new battalions, grand strategies, and battle tactics. None of that stuff is from the old GHB. So all new stuff. Before we get into the realm rules, do you have any just quick overview items? Just your overall thoughts?
It's a spell-focused lore, and it's a anti-spell focused game.
Yeah.
We were talking before. I think this GHB is the meta is going to go ahead and go into an anti-spell casting way.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Which is very interesting because some of the GHBs require you to have like spellcasters to get the most points.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the history of the GHBs and their mechanics, typically what happens is everyone gets super excited about the mechanic. People realize the downsides of the mechanics and then immediately switch to the anti-meta. So that's typically what happens in most of the GHBs. So I assume that while we'll get a lot of wizard type stuff at the beginning of the season, I think as we get closer to this, I would say 4 to 6 months, most of it is going to turn into an anti-magic meta. So that's how I feel. I think you're rewarded a lot more from an anti-magic perspective than you are from a magic perspective. So we shall see how that progresses.
But man, spellcasting is good this edition.
Yeah, there's that. Oh, some of those spells are brutal. Yeah, let's jump into just the realm rules. So the one of them was just one with the land. This is just your basically keyword mechanic for 9 or less wounds, non-unique. You become. I'm gonna steal it from Warhammer Weekly. I'm just gonna call them Andes because of course we have to use these weird names for all of these keywords. So they're basically was it Andatorian something?
I like to call them supercasters.
Sure, I like that. Supercasters. I like it. So they get a supercaster keyword. That's basically what that means. The optical focus. It makes taking the second turn in the round even more important.
Yeah. If you go second, Yeah, what it is if you go second, you can choose a hero. If they're not a spellcaster, you get an additional command point. If they are a spellcaster, you get an additional spell.
Yes. Keep in mind that that extra command point that you get can only be issued from that hero, though. So you can't. It's not just a banked command point. So, but as we go through this, and we'll find out more when we do the battle plans next week. Going second is even more of a thing now. Like you want to go second in a lot of these cases because you get so much benefit out of doing that now. Even more than previous.
You do. Which is good.
Yep.
It's exactly what I needed.
Yep. I think we might be pushing a little hard into the second turn, but I worry that Battle Regiment will become even more of a required thing.
Which I agree. I don't want. I don't want one-drop battalions.
Yep, and I think
I want to be able to use all these cool stuff.
Yep, I agree. I think it's kind of boring to just go one-drop battalions. We're going to see so much of it, but there's just so much benefit to going second that I think that Battle Regiment is going to be a big deal. And then we have Primal Magic. So I actually love this mechanic because if you're bad at rolling, you still get rewarded for it. So basically, at the start of the round, each player will roll a primal dice, or I guess just a dice. If you get a 4-up, if either player gets a 4-up, both players will get a primal dice. And that happens at the start of each hero phase. So, and then if you don't use them, you'll obviously lose them at the end of the round. Mm-hmm. But if you don't roll that 4-up and your opponent rolls that 4-up, you still both get a primal dice, which is very nice. There are ways to get primal dice, more primal dice in your favor by taking some of like the battalions and whatnot. But for the most part, I really like this mechanic where both players benefit from the roll, right? So it's not one-sided.
Yeah, and it's not the FAQ that came out for the primal dice made it super balanced with the way the things were going, because there were some war scrolls I was really worried about where the higher you cast, the more powerful the spell is, but it doesn't count.
Yeah.
The primal dice, which is fairly nice.
So definitely, I marked both those as an A because one, it's just the mechanic of the season, right? So you're obviously going to take advantage of it, and obviously going second is going to be super good too. So definitely just an overall cool mechanic. Definitely looking forward to seeing how this plays out. Anything else on the realm rules?
I love primal magic.
Yeah, it'll be.
It benefits unbinds more than anything.
Yes, correct, and we'll get to that. All right, let's go over the spell lores because these are huge. These are massive. So before we get into these, the only ones that can take this are Andes or supercasters. So you have to have that keyword. And allies cannot take these, right? So it has to be a supercaster from your army that has these. Now, all of these are super high casting, but obviously when you look at what they do, it makes sense. But you will also benefit from that primal magic dice as well. So,
because it's what, 8, 10, 12
yes,
for casting?
Yep, 8, 10, and 12. So Hoarfrost is a casting value of 8. We've talked about this. We've multiple times. This is going to make.
Yeah, we had 2 shows based off this one spell, pretty much.
Basically, this is going to make many combinations of units that you don't normally see viable, because you can manipulate their stats pretty hard. So definitely an A plus or an A for that for sure. I think. Now that being said, it's still high costing cast value. And now there's even more ways to be unbound with this. So I didn't mark it as like an S tier because there are ways to,
easier to unbind.
Correct.
But now easier to cast.
Correct. So, but it is
and it's only an 8.
Yes.
Which isn't
it's not terrible.
amazingly high.
It's not terrible, but it's still pretty high. But it's a fantastic spell, and it's going to be very interesting to see some of the mechanics that work with this. Some different combos and whatnot that you don't normally see. It'll be fun. The next spell is Rupture. This is a 10 cast.
Oh yeah, this is the one that I'm not 100%. I don't 100%
The
remember.
issue is you have to pick this, right? Rupture is essentially a sideboard card for incarnates or endless spells, and you basically make an incarnate wild or endless spell wild, but you have to literally pick this. So, there's a
command trait that gives you everything.
Yes, that's the only. I was about to say that the only way that this becomes, I think, usable if you pick the command trait, which honestly I don't think a lot of people are going to do because you're
agreed.
There's so many command traits from a faction that you want to use, right? You're only going to get one of them. So I just don't think this is going to be used. It's a very high casting cost. I think I don't know if I'll see the spell cast once this entire year.
So I agree with the C+. I might even bring it down to a C, just because it has an 18-inch range, which means that first turn you can't even hit an incarnate with it.
Yeah.
Which is where you would want to hit.
I'd put this down to a C or C-. I honestly don't think we're going to see this. If we're going with our tier explanation, this is closer to a D than it is a C.
And like the best thing that you'll see in an average game, which won't even happen in the average game, is your opponent's going to cast an endless spell. You make it so they don't control it with a 10 cast spell. Might as well just dispel it.
Yeah, you might as well just dispel it. You might as well just get rid of it. And you can use the primal dice on dispelling as well. Like, I just don't see this being used.
I see it only for incarnates, and you can't even do it first turn.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And then the most fun one, I call it the Kamikaze spell.
Oh, I love this spell so much. I'm so tempted to just take it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you're risking your wizard that's going to cast this. You're risking it dying, but if you know it's going to die and it's like on 1 or 2 wounds and you just start going out with a bang.
That is a risk I'm willing to take.
Right. So essentially, Merciless Blizzard's a 12 cast, and I think it's a range of 12, which is not very, very large. So I mean, it's literally a kamikaze spell for sure. It's 46 mortal wounds, but if you roll any ones on that 46, you take D3 mortal wounds. So
for every one that you
roll, yes. So
you know what this is? I know exactly what type of spell this is. You put this on that spellcaster that's supposed to be just a minor buffer for just like a spell that's already on their scroll, and then your opponent alpha strikes you, and then once that Maw Crusher is in your face, you're like, ha, you're within 12 inches, and then you just blow up in their face.
Yeah.
You take it more.
Yep. I mean, 46 was pretty good. It's pretty good.
That'll kill most things.
Yes, it's pretty good.
And since it's a 12 cast, you're going to be using all of your primal dice. This is a second turn Kamikaze strike.
Yeah. What do you think about the B? I think it's good, right? But I don't think.
So
do you think we're going to see a lot of this? We might see more than what I say.
So this is what I see. I see this being used in the way that I just told you, and in Idenith Deepkin lists.
Okay.
Maybe even some Gits list, because what will happen is they're gonna cast a spell to teleport that spellcaster forward 9 inches away, and then you're within 12 inches, and then they blow up your key piece.
You just suicide the wizard into whatever.
Yeah, you just throw the wizard for Idenith Deepkin.
What happens if
your super spellcasters?
What happens?
You move them in.
That's such a risky. What happens if you 1, don't get the cast off, or 2, you get unbound? now your caster's in a real shit spot, and you didn't do anything.
Yeah, but they would have been that they would have been in that position.
I mean, I guess I just it's risky.
Hey, it's a risk reward.
It is.
Like the item to Deepkin, if you go second, you could potentially have like 3 or 4 of your
I mean,
primal dice.
even with
especially depending on how you do
even
it.
with 3d6, what your average is 11 or 12. You may get this off. I don't know, man.
Do another primal dice.
Yeah, I guess. I just let me ask this: are you taking Blizzard over Horrorfrost?
I'm taking both.
Okay, I mean, sure.
But you would take Horrorfrost first.
Yes, I agree. So that's why I think I've marked them correctly. Maybe you can put Blizzard as a B plus, maybe, but
B minus. It's amazing, but it's very situational.
Very situational, and honestly, it's one of those things where like your dude's
Because
on
it
like
is
2
built
wounds, right?
It's built into the spell that you can't spell portal it,
Correct.
and you can't change the range of
Correct.
the spell.
Which thank God they did that, right? Cause
Oh, thank God!
that would have been absolutely.
I don't want to see like a Slann start casting this from across.
Correct. Oh, I will also specify as too. The primal dice does not need to be just a supercaster. It can be used on any wizards.
Yeah.
So that is also something else that, because I think when we initially saw this, we thought that those primal dice were only going to be used on the supercasters or the locusts or whatever you call them. But no, that is not.
Which means I can do the most useless thing, and I can put it on Nagash.
Correct. You could. You absolutely could. He's down 65 points. He's coming back, baby. I'm telling you.
Yeah, 900 points of not being able to use all the spells.
All right, moving on. I'm gonna make Nagash work at some point.
You know, I tried for like 2 hours today to make a list that I liked with Nagash
And you couldn't do
to
it.
take on Saturday. I couldn't do it.
You're not one to
I tried
use him.
I tried so hard.
I know. I don't ever see you. Your type of playstyle just does not fit Nagash.
I used to take Nagash all the time.
When he wasn't casting
Trash? Yeah.
He wasn't casting 8 spells a turn. All right, let's get into the command traits. So, keep in mind, you're only going to get one of these, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can only go on a supercaster, and most of the time, your command traits from your faction, you're going to take over these. So,
yeah,
these are kind of a bummer. I mean, some of these are pretty cool, but I don't think we'll see many of them. So let's just go through them.
All right, so I went into this before.
Okay.
Today, actually, making a list.
Okay.
And when thinking about this, I had to think of myself, what is one thing that I would rather take?
Correct.
And it's very, very simple. It's not even the one that's part of my faction. It's the generic command trait. Let's see, what is it? Master of Magic.
Yeah, Master of Magic. Yep. The reroll. Yep.
Yeah.
Super good.
What? I can instead get rid of that miscast or that super miscast?
Yep, 100%. We're going to see a lot more miscasts, but even then, I still think a lot of your faction stuff, some of the command traits, you're just not going to be able to get rid of. So let's just go through these. Shaman of the Chilled Lands. I marked as
You know all 3 spells.
Correct. And great. But it has to compete with other command traits. I marked as a C. I don't think we'll see this.
If there was a good spellcaster that had 3 spells that they could cast,
sure,
that was also 9 wounds or less, I think this would be good.
But you're not going to get that. We don't have that.
Yeah.
I have the Blizzard. This one was
at the start of your hero phase. If your general's on the field, roll a dice. On a 5-up, you gain a primal dice.
Yeah, not worth it.
The problem is, it's on a 5-up.
It's on a 5-up. It's not worth it. In fact, that probably needs to go to like a C minus because.
Yeah, like if you get a primal dice, that's amazing. Twice per turn. Good.
On a 5-up though.
On a 5-up.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm gonna pass on that. Chill to the Bone. I could see people using a little bit more. It's basically your miscast savior. If you the issue with this is you still have to roll the 3-up, and it's once per game. Why? Just give me just make it work.
You know what you do? You know what you do? You do Master of Magic, and then you
Yes.
get that every
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah. That. Why did they do this? I don't understand this one. This one's even more of. This one's even like. This one's more pushing more to like D because, to your point,
Uh,
you're just gonna take Master Magic. Why
yeah,
would you not?
no one should ever take this.
Oh my gosh, yeah. This is. Yeah, I'm changing that. Are we sure we're reading this right? Because you're right. Like.
I have the book right in
Oh
front of
my
me, and I'm
gosh,
reading
that's
it.
so bad. You don't know why, and you still have to roll a 3-up, and it's once per game. Yeah, sorry, just that's bad. It's just bad. It's bad. Now, Eater of Magic is hilarious.
This is so great.
I
This
would
is so great.
I would take this just because I would love to see this happen multiple times during the game. So, could you imagine doing this on like a wizard that is trying to cast Mystic Shield, and then they just no longer can cast that the rest of the game? So awesome. So basically, this is anytime you unbind, you can roll a 5-up, and if you do, that enemy wizard can no longer cast that spell for the rest of the game. Amazing.
Just think about this on a Slan, who can unbind from anywhere, has 3 unbinds, and it's just pluses to unbind. It's just yeah, oh no, I lose a little bit of their own command trait, which is still good, of a little bit of
Yeah, yeah,
extra summoning points, but
yeah. This is brutal.
oh, what you don't. Did I just unbind Teclis and now he can't
Yeah,
cast his
yeah.
spells?
Or even like the power of Hish or power of the speed
Yeah.
one or whatever. Like
Oh man, that sucks for you.
that's amazing. It's literally
That
amazing.
it's game
Yeah.
changing.
Now
Sucks that it's on a
it is
5-up.
on a 5
Makes
up.
sense.
It's tough to get right. So, but this can literally
And
change games.
it's only on a supercaster too,
Correct.
which means you're gonna have a max of 2 unbinds, maybe 3 with a
Mhm.
Slan. I don't really know any more that have more than that.
Is there any other one that I know that has 3 unbinds?
The max I know of is 2. I think literally Slan is the only one that's more than 2.
Stonks on Slon this season. Oh my god, that dude is going to be insane. Even as an ally, like that dude's going to be insane.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So those are the command traits.
Yep, the only one worth even thinking about is Eater of Magic.
Yeah, 100%. That's the only, and I would only do it really, honestly, as a meme, just because I want to roll that 5-up.
You're gonna do that against think of that. Do it against a Zinch player or a Lumineth player. You're going to ruin their day.
Granted, it's going to be rare you're going to get the unbind off against a Seraphon player, but can you imagine doing that against like Croak's like celestial stuff?
And you know what'd be the best part about it too, is telling your opponent that they're going to remember which spell they can't do.
Feels bad. Feels bad. All right.
Just go. Sorry, you can't do that.
All right. So let's talk about the Nullstone adornments. Now these are unique enhancements that you get for free, on one condition. You cannot have any wizard in your army, and not only that, but you can't even have any unit that can cast spells. Anything that can even remotely cast spells.
Someone who has an ability that is like casting.
Yes, so a good one would be the Dankhold Trogboss. And his
Spell in a Bottle.
Spell in a Bottle is another good one. Yep. So these, if you don't have any of that, you do get these Nullstone.
You get one for free.
Yep, you get it for free. They cannot have an artifact already, so you have to put this on something that doesn't have an artifact. So that is another requirement.
Oh, really? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, they cannot have an artifact. It's got to be someone that doesn't have an artifact. Now, these are very good. These are pretty decent. I like a lot of these.
Agreed.
Hand carved Nullstone icon. Which one's that one again?
So the hand carved one. Let's see. The person you choose can unbind one spell or attempt to dispel an endless spell in the enemy hero phase. If you succeed, you gain another unbind.
Correct. Yeah. So this can be pretty decent.
It's a potential infinite unbind.
Correct. If you're rolling hot, it can be just a complete unbind. So pretty cool. I don't know if I would take that one. I think the other two are better, but still decent. Not too bad.
It's super good.
It really is. It really is. I think my favorite one is the Pouch of Null Dust. This literally shuts down the magic phase for
I
one
love
turn. Like,
I love the patch of
it's
dust.
fantastic. So this is the one where, oh my gosh, can you imagine like Zinch with this or something? Oh, it's beautiful. Basically, you turn miscasts into double ones, double twos, and double threes
For one
for one
turn,
turn.
all miscasts are a double ones, double twos,
And
and
if they
double
use the
threes.
primal dice, they get a primal miscast, which is the was it D3 plus 3 plus D3 to everything within 3 or something?
Something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that.
Also, if there's any endless spells on the field, on a 5-up, they're just instantly
Yeah,
gone.
on like all of them on the field.
Yep.
Pretty incredible little enhancement here, just for free, right? So,
Yep.
if you're not running any wizards, you basically shut down the magic phase for a turn, right? So this is pretty good. It's pretty good. I really do like this. It's pretty strong, so thankfully it's just once per game, but pretty cool. Pretty cool little enhancement there. And then you get the polished millstone pebble.
I don't know.
You don't. Let me read. What was this one again?
So, when this unit is picked as a target of a spell or the ability of a spell, on a 4-up, the caster must pick another unit within 3 inches
Oh
of
no,
this
this
unit.
is good. This is super good. Because you can pick enemy units. It's not friendly units. If you get your dude up, if you have this on, like say, I'm going to use a Mangler Squid, for example, a Loon Boss of Mangler Squid, and you get this thing up into the face of something, and they do a spell, and you get a 4-up, you're now changing that spell onto the enemies.
I didn't realize that you could affect enemy units.
You absolutely can. So it's not just on. You just don't choose a friendly. You can choose
Well,
an
the
enemy.
thing is the caster chooses another unit, not you.
Well, if you're only within, 3 inches of another enemy unit, right?
Yeah. It's decent.
I think it could be used. I don't think it's game breaking, but I do think it's pretty interesting. I think it's a pretty interesting enhancement.
I think I would still take the hand card Nullstone.
Okay. I'll swap this to
Just because infinite on mine can help so much.
Well, when you roll poorly like me, you just don't get that. So that's why I gravitate toward. I mean, I guess on a 4-up, I'd still throw a 4-up. So.
And you have primal dice now, so.
True. I still think out of all these, I'm still taking the patch notes, just because it's so good.
The Null Dust is pretty
It's
great.
fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, we are moving on to the core battalions. These are both decent. I think at the beginning of the season, I think we're going to see a lot of these, and then I think we're eventually not going to see a lot of these, but we'll see.
I'm testing out the Acolytes one.
So the Acolytes one is the extra. If you have 2 supercasters, you need a total of 3, right?
It's 2 or 3.
2 or 3. As long as 2 of them are
as long as 2 of the casters are alive at the beginning of, of the hero phase, so both people's hero phases, on a 3-up, you gain a primal dice.
The only issue I have with this is this worth losing the priority? And I just don't know.
For a lot of armies, no.
I just if it was this versus Battle Regiment for a 1-drop, I still think I'm taking the Battle Regiment.
Battle Regiment's just too good. However, if you're playing an army that has a crap ton of heroes,
you're running this, right? Most Skaven armies are gonna run this, which is great.
Skaven, I see Gits, I see Flesh Eaters taking it.
Yep.
I can see Daughters of Cain taking it.
Yeah. In a non-Marathi list, I can see it.
Two Medusae.
Yep, I can see it. Yep.
And even in a Marathi list, you just get one Medusae and then Marathi.
It's just getting expensive at that point. I don't know. If I'm taking Marathi, I'm looking at that 1-drop. I'm trying to get that 1-drop to work.
Yeah, that's fair.
The other one is the Wizard Finders, and this it's okay. You get +1/+2 attacks to potentially 4 units in that battalion that hit a wizard in a wizard heavy meta. So Depending on what you're playing.
It could potentially be really good.
Correct. I mean, +1 to attacks is very, very good.
Yeah.
And you get it on potentially 4 units within that battalion. So.
And it's one hero, one small hero, one troop minimum.
Yeah, and then you can do another troop.
Or one infantry minimum.
And you can do another infantry and then a monster, which the monster's really good too. Depending on what you're playing.
Like, think of it this way. Like, there's some armies that you can, you could build to be very, very, like, sniper-like Sylvaneth, for example.
Yeah.
To where you can hit something very well. And having +1 to an attack characteristic is really good.
The other one that would be really good with this too is Stormcast, like doing Annihilators, putting Annihilators with this, because that would do some damage.
Do Fire Slayers.
Well, I think it works best if you have something that can get to the wizards, because most of the wizards are going to be screened.
Yeah, and it's an optional thing too. Like, if it doesn't take that much to get this bonus.
Correct. Now again, is this something that you'd have versus
one drop all the way?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, and that's where I think Games Workshop needs to figure out how to address the one drop, because
they need to get rid of Battle Regiment.
They either need to get rid of it or make it a lot more difficult to use, because I mean, we talked about it a couple weeks ago in one of our shows where we had the rumors of AOS 4.0, right? Where if you do the Battle Regiment, you don't necessarily get priority. You just get a better chance at priority, and that would definitely change how Battle Regiment works.
You know what was a huge, like, I guess, culture shock for me? And it was playing 40k, and the way that the new current rules is just you roll and go, okay, you won, you go first.
There's no, you don't get to pick.
No ifs, ands.
You just go. And then there's nothing else you can do about it. You just go, and that's the way.
So you have to build your list to be able to both attack and defend.
Correct. Yep.
Well, now you just do Battle Regiment. Make sure you're a 1-drop, and you make sure that you can just always hit first.
Correct.
Or make it so that your opponent can't do anything first.
I honestly think that Games Workshop knows this is a problem, and they will change it. It's just a matter of time. Especially with this season, I think it's going to be a very big problem. I think everyone is going to be taking Battle Regiments. Maybe not.
They did a really good job, because going second actually is beneficial.
Super beneficial. I think it's very, very beneficial. But some of the battle plans are like, if you go second, you control a lot of what the game is.
You're golden.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the battle tactics. Okay, so I initially read these and I was pretty bummed about them because some of them were bad, but after going through them a little bit more, some of these might actually be okay.
I agree. This is the same reaction that I think you had, and even I didn't really have it, that you had when we had the last GHB battle tactic.
Now, granted, some of those
one
were
before
garbage.
that one.
Some of those were garbage. Yeah. But after looking at these, some of these are actually okay. I still think some of the battle tactics in the books are going to be a lot better than these, depending on what your army is. But
100%.
But some of these are okay. So let's just go over these real quick. Actually, I'm going to get my little thing out here.
I got mine right in front of me.
Battle tactics right here. Okay.
Intimidate the invaders. Let's see. You complete the battle tactic at the end of turn if there are more friendly units outside your territory than friendly units.
I think I have this one.
There's your easy one.
I think
right
this
there.
is the easiest one you can do in the GHB currently. This is the easiest one.
That is your I control a piece of turret.
Basically, essentially, yes. All right, so then we go to
and it benefits anti-castles.
Yes.
Or it benefits non-castles, which I think is really good because castles.
Sure. I mean, castles can still get out there. Their purpose too is to get out in the middle too, right? But this one's your slam dunk. This is one that you're going to be seeing a lot of. The next one's reprisal.
You complete this tactic.
This one's okay. I like this one.
You complete this.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish it.
I actually really like this one.
Finish it.
You complete this battle tactic if an enemy unit that destroyed a friendly general earlier in the battle is destroyed this turn.
Correct. This is slam dunk because here's the thing, right? If someone's going to take out your general, they're going to be in a bad spot most likely because I would imagine you're going to have a lot of screens or something next to your general. So it
Mhm.
almost de-incentivizes. I'll say this: if there weren't other battle tactics in here that gave you stuff for killing certain generals like wizards and whatnot, it de-incentivizes you to kill their general of because they can complete a battle tactic like reprisal. So
This helps Soulblight actually quite a bit because they can have multiple generals.
correct, yeah. Anything
So
that's got multiple
they could
generals, yeah.
sacrifice a general, and then you go, okay,
Yep,
that's one battle tactic easy for
yep,
me.
exactly. So I think this is a very good battle tactic. I I didn't like it at first, but this is pretty good. I like this one.
Hmm. It's a good late game battle tactic.
Yeah, even if it's even like mid game, right? Like if you're killing that general, you're gonna be in a bad spot, and you're essentially just giving your opponent this reprisal battle tactic. So it's kind of a weird indirect way of, like, again, de-incentivizing you killing their general.
Hmm.
It's very interesting. Um,
Agreed.
Endless expropriation. So come down destroying wizard. Oh, this one's they FAQ'd this.
Oh, they
They
did. What
did.
they change
So
about it?
there was four. I think there were um, four scenarios to where, yeah. So the enemy unit has, so pick one enemy unit that is controlling or bonded to an endless spell or incarnate. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if any of the following are true, and there were four that they put in there. The enemy unit has been destroyed. The endless spell is wild. The endless spell is controlled by or bonded to a friendly unit, and then the incarnate is wild. I think they just
Hmm.
did they changed this to where it's just the enemy unit has been destroyed, or that incarnate is wild. I'll double check on that, but
Really?
yes.
So they got rid of that the endless spell is wild?
Yes, but I'm gonna double check just because I want to make sure I'm right here.
Oh, okay. I can actually see why they did that.
This is
Because what happens is, you say that you're gonna do that battle tactic, and then I go, okay, I dispel my
oh
endless
yeah
spell.
yeah yeah. So the
That's,
following are true. The enemy has been destroyed, or that incarnate is wild. Yes. So those are the two they changed it to. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I don't think they thought about
it makes
that.
so your opponent can't really do a fast one
Yep,
on you.
yep, makes sense. All right. So that is that. So this one's okay.
It's a very niche
It's
one.
essentially kill the wizard. I mean, that's essentially what this is. And so I marked it as a B.
But it's kill a wizard that's already done something though.
Correct. Correct.
So it's even more. I wouldn't classify as a
Yeah, maybe
B,
it's
but
like
it's like it's not
C
that bad.
plus. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. The wizard has to have done something. You're right. Okay. Magical dominance. This is bad. This is just real bad. With primal dice, this is bad unless you have a plan to do just one spell that turn. So
Oh yeah, cast one or more spells with a wizard, and then don't fail any spells after that.
yes, just bad. It's just bad. It's
So yes and no.
sure,
You could build an army to be really good at this.
sure. You can literally take something that does an auto cast, and you can take a supercaster that does an auto cast to get like Mystic Shield off. Be done with
And
it,
just
and then just
make them 30 inches away, and
yeah.
then you just you're done.
I
Then you move
guess.
forward.
Are you
It's really
are
stupid,
you
but
are you
technically,
really building into that though?
no.
Yeah, I just don't. That's bad. I don't like it.
It's really niche,
It's
but
very niche, and I
yeah,
don't like it. So I'm about to.
no one's gonna take this.
Right, moving on to the next one. Okay. Magical Mayhem. Dice roll and unbind. Which one is this one?
Pick an enemy unit on the field. Destroy that unit with a spell or ability of a spell.
I don't like it.
It's tough.
It's real
It's
tough.
really tough.
You are banking a lot on that spell. And with primal
So,
dice, I don't think
yeah.
this is good.
Sylvaneth has this ability, and it's still really tough.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. You can build into it. You can do the whole
But it's
Slon,
yeah, I don't like it.
Croak
I don't like
bombs and all that, but
I don't like
it's...
it. I think that's gonna be a nope for me, dog.
If your opponent has, like, a unit with 1 HP, and like you're like, okay, I just do Arcane Bolt. Like, it'll happen. There are plenty of scenarios where it can
Sure.
happen, but
I mean,
in reality,
if you know, like, if there's something on like 2 wounds, right, and you do like an arcane bolt, sure, right, that's fine.
yeah,
But
it would have to be like 1 wound.
sure,
yeah,
but I mean, I don't like it. I don't think I'd ever pick it.
some armies will be a lot easier to do this than
Sure.
others.
That brings us into the next one, which is also in the kind of same boat. It's a little easier to do, but like Night Hunt, this is
I
if they
really
ever
like this
wanted
one.
a Night Hunt battle tactic, like this is the one.
Yeah, this is just straight.
So all you got to do is retreat 2 and charge 2, and
Yep.
that's it. And you get it. This is.
Yep.
I don't think
it requires 4 units.
correct. It does. Now, that being said, I don't think many armies are going to take this because you have to have the right army composition for this, but it is doable. It's a lot more doable than the last one.
Some lists have a lot easier ability
Correct.
to do this, like Night Hunt, like Soul Blight will actually do fairly well with
Yeah.
this.
Yep. Gits
In some armies, just
Gits might be okay with this. Although you want to kind of stay in combat, but yeah. Okay, so B minus. It's okay. It's all right. And then led into the Maelstrom. Which one's this one?
So, one or more friendly units, one or more friendly heroes, and one or more friendly battle line each make a charge move this turn, and at least one of those units is within 3 inches of an enemy unit at the end of the turn. Which means you need to do
survive.
2 different charges, and you need to not kill your
or
opponent.
survive. Either one of those, right? Because you have to also survive the.
But
the
it's you're the one charging.
Right, but you have to make sure that you survive till the end of the turn, otherwise they're not within 3 inches.
Only one of them.
True, but there's a lot that can go wrong with this.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It's not that great. But
I don't like it sheerly because of the fact that it requires you not to kill your opponent.
Correct. This needs to be like a C+. And then this one's real bad. Okay, so there might be some armies that do this, but is this what you want to do? Is this battle tactic?
I don't think it's that bad, to be quite honest.
But is that what you want to do? Like, do you want to be on the edge of the battlefield for this battle tactic? Like, I understand it might not be hard. I mean, I still think it's relatively difficult, maybe, to do, depending on the scenario.
So some armies will find this really easy to do.
Beats
some
of Chaos.
Armies will find it. Yeah, Beast of Chaos, Soul Blight, like.
But
anything with like fast units. Because it's 6 inches from the edge of the battlefield, which is quite a bit. You could be on a tactic.
I guess. I'm thinking
it
about
is a lot. I don't think it's that bad.
I'm thinking about a game where I want to. You're gonna have to weigh the pros and cons of whether you want to be on an objective, or if you want to complete this battle tactic. Because I think it's gonna be hard to do both with this.
Or another one. Actually, I don't think it's that hard to do both, because only one model needs to be within 6 inches. And most objectives will probably be, you could be on an objective.
No, you gotta be wholly. Each of these is wholly within 6 inches.
Is it wholly within?
All of those units.
Oh,
have
okay.
To be...
Nope. That changes my mind. Get rid of it.
Like all of the units have to be in there, within that 6-inch border, and then you're essentially getting rid of that turn for them to be on the objectives and have a better position than you.
Beast of Chaos will do it.
Correct. It's a great one for Beast of Chaos, but other than that,
I didn't realize you had to be wholly within. That changes everything.
3 different battlefield edges, and like it's like I'm thinking about my Gibbs army, right? Like I can make this work. I could put freaking 5 Bounders on the side, and put like Fungoid on the other side, and boom, and my Loon Smasher on the
Living
other side.
Cities will do it.
Sure, but my thinking is do I want to do that though? Do I want that to be where my units are going?
There are like two or three armies that could actually use that.
Sure.
Or another thing is it is round 5, and there's nothing on the field anyways. You already control all the objectives, and you just go, all right, I do this one.
Sure. You know what? And I'll even mark it as like a C, because you're right. If you're getting down to the end of the game, and you need a battle tactic, and you can get that, then
Yeah.
sure.
This is that battle tactic where you're just talking it out. It's like, all right, I don't have anyone I can kill. What can I do? Oh, I just do this one.
I'm with you. I can see that. Yep, I can 100% see that. Yep. So it's fine. I don't like it, but it's fine.
I don't like it either.
All right. So
you're doing it turn 1, or you're doing it turn 5?
correct. That's correct. All right, and then honestly, if I'm doing turn 1, I'm probably doing the one where I have more outside my territory, but it's fine. All right, move on to grand strategies. These are all meh. Out of all of them, they're kind of meh.
I don't even think I don't even think I looked at any of them.
Let me go to these.
No, I remember looking at them, but none of them were like, oh my god, that's amazing.
Complete this grand.
Control the necklace. Yeah. Nexus. Yep. 2 wizards. End the game with 2 wizards, wholly within 6 inches of the spell.
Not great. It's okay.
Lumineth Realm Lords would love it.
Yeah, you could do it. It should probably be more like a B-. You can do it, but I don't like it.
Another thing, it has to be wholly within.
Correct. Spellcasting Savant. Yeah, I don't like this one. It's way too risky.
Well, to be fair, all it is that your general needs to be a supercaster, and he needs to not die.
9 wounds or less, dude. When you have a heavy.
Hey, there are some people out there. Like, I could do that on Belladonna.
And then you think about primal dice, like, and getting.
Oh wait, can I? I don't
know. No, Belladonna can't take it. She's unique.
Yeah, she's not.
The thing is, like, think about, you get 1 or 2 miscasts, like, you're in trouble. Like, that's, I don't know, man. I don't like it. As a grand strat, I'm taking something else.
I don't think it's horrible, but I will be taking.
Slaughter of Sorcery. Now that I can take. When the battle ends, you complete this grand strat if there are no wizard units on the battlefield. I take this.
Oh man, look at that! Corn's gonna be taking that every single time.
Well, yeah, and then for some things, it's like if you both are playing Corn or not, if both players don't have a wizard.
Oh, are we both playing Corn? Hey, look at that! We won.
Achieved. I like this one a lot more than the rest of them. Plus, you're already incentivized to kill the wizards anyway. Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Baron Icecape, bad. I said bad. Could have had one of. Oh god, this one's so bad.
You complete the scratch if all enemy units that have artifacts of power are destroyed, and there are no enemy units within 6 inches of the center.
This is so bad.
So it requires 2 things.
You could have had one of those triggers, and it still would have been bad. But then they put another trigger in there, and it makes it even worse. It's so bad. This one's terrible. This is a D. This is an absolute D for me.
It would have been okay, but doing both of them's pretty hard.
Come on, man. But, like, why make another trigger after that? Like, you could have done one of those, and it would have been maybe doable. Right? I don't know. It's bad.
All right. Overshadow. Destroy all enemy battle line, and have at least 1 battle line of your own. This is not going to be done in a competitive setting.
I agree. I said generally bad.
There are too many.
It's very composition. Like, if you have a crap ton of battle line somehow, like, maybe.
Well, like it's not even that. It's in a big competition. You're going to be fighting. You don't know what you're going to be fighting, and let's say you're fighting giants.
Yeah, good luck.
They're all battle line.
Yeah.
That means you have to wipe the field in order to get your grand.
Now that being said, I think maybe it could happen, but it's not great. It's not great.
Or then you go into like Stormcast or something where
dragons.
You can make an entire army of literally everything's battle line.
Yeah, dragons. Like, just do all dragons, and you have to kill everything. Like, good luck.
It just.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's too situational in the competitive.
Don't like it. I said generally bad, which is true.
All right. When the battle ends, you complete the grand strat if there are 2 or more endless spells or incarnates on the battlefield that are controlled by or bonded to friendly units.
I don't like this one because if you know what the grand strategy is, you're just gonna deny this last turn, right? Like. With your primal dice, you're just gonna make sure that they don't get this grand strat.
Round 5, I unbind and I make sure that I dispel your endless spell.
100%.
The end.
Worth 3 points. Absolutely 100% doing it every time. And with heroic, even if all your stuff's dead, you could still just do heroic willpower and just make sure that you unlock
Yeah, as long as you have a hero.
Yeah, it's
And like that requires you to not lose any of your or not lose your spellcasters. It doesn't work on invocations, and you need to have your person that has a spellcaster not that the person that's with an incarnate to not
yeah.
die.
So the only one where I could see someone taking this is like Zinch and like Zinch with the incarnate and a bunch of endless spells. Like they could probably do
Yeah,
this, but they might be
the
the
typical
only
Zine
one
list I
that can
see.
do
Yeah,
this. So
I agree.
yeah. All right. Just the next section of this, and these will go quick. There's like 4 slides here. Not all of these change, but we're gonna go into endless spells.
I
Um,
love a lot
I do
of
too.
new endless
I
spells.
do too. So I went back and forth between all the spells and try to figure out, what changed. So we'll just go over these quickly. Pendulum went up 1 cast and does D6 instead of D3. And I believe this went down in points. I can't remember. No, maybe it didn't go down. I think it's the same point value, but it is like this is way better. I think. Um,
Oh yeah. No one's gonna
no
take
one's
it
gonna take
still
it, but that's
because
why I have it as a C plus. But it's still
it
better.
requires that straight
Correct.
line, which
But
sucks.
it's fine. I mean, it's a better spell, but yeah, C plus. Chronomantic caused huge nerf to this thing. Oh my god, this thing got nerfed. Nerfed into the
Okay,
ground.
so what is? I need to read.
So so you get the reroll charges. That's still there. The reroll charge is still there.
Yeah.
But the one that everyone takes it for is the casting. So this no longer gives you reroll casting. This is. Oh, I have this too. This got so nerfed. I don't actually see people using
Okay.
it.
If it is decreasing the flow time, players can attempt to cast either Arcane Bolt or Mystic Shield in their hero phase with a friendly wizard wholly within 6 inches of this, without counting towards that spell.
Correct.
Without counting that spell towards the number of spells that wizard can attempt to cast in that phase. In addition, -1 to hit. So you just
Which they honestly, it's only going to work within 12 inches because with the new lookouts they don't.
So what this is yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. So what this is
you
cast
you
the
get an
spell
extra
to
spell.
be able to get a free Arcane
Yes,
Bolt and
yes.
Mystic
You get
Shield.
an extra.
No, or Mystic
Yes,
Shield.
you get an extra spell for Arcane Tome, Arcane Bolt or Mystic Shield. But I think it was you can do another. No, that's it, right?
You,
Oh, that's it.
you can cast. You get a free cast of Arcane Bolt or
Correct,
Mystic Shield.
correct. So, yeah, not good. Not. I'm not taking that. Nope.
No, that's so
It's
bad.
real bad, and I don't even think the points changed on it. So like, yeah, that's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Nope, real bad.
Emerald Lightstorm, there's no change to this. It's still the same old Lightstorm.
Yep, it's still decent.
Still good. Still
if
right.
you need heals,
Yep,
there you
still
go.
fine. Geminids. Oh boy, this thing got good. This thing, you're gonna see a lot of these. Oh my goodness.
It needed this change, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I don't know. This might be too good though. I don't know. It no longer does the 1 mortal wound, which no one cared about. But instead of doing no commands at the next command or at the next combat phase, it's no commands that they can receive or issue
Until the next hero phase
So good.
on a 2-up.
So good.
Which is glorious.
Yeah, this thing's pretty good. A plus, baby. We're gonna see a lot more Geminids.
Yes, you will.
Really, really good. Horgaths, for some reason, this didn't change except it went down 10 points. I don't know why. This thing was incredible.
I love it. Keep that way.
And it's going to be even more used, so great. Horghast is just down 10 points. The Lunchbox, Soulseeker. This changed quite a bit.
Yep, you can now no longer do the surfboard with the Skaven guy.
So it's got to be 9 wounds or less, and you can no longer move in both turns. You can only move in your turn.
Oh, darn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dang. Like, this one wasn't... Like, that should have been changed from the get-go.
Yeah, there's no reason to allow Thankwell to be able to do that.
Or anyone, for that matter. Like, come on now. To be able to move in both turns, that was super strong. Super, super strong.
Yeah.
All right. Maelstrom. It no longer just targets wizards. It targets everyone. I think with the wizard meta, you might see this more. Maybe?
Let's see. Maelstrom. After it is summoned, place a d6. Each time a spell is successfully cast by a unit within 12 and not unbound, you up the dice. In addition, each time a model is slain within 12, increase the dice.
Correct.
Ooh. At the end of any phase in which the dice besides this endless spell reaches 6, the spell is removed from play. Good. It's not a really bad roll. When this endless spell is removed from play, add 6 to the value of the dice beside it. Each unit within a number of inches equal to the result suffers D3 mortal
And it
wounds.
used to just target wizards, but now it targets everyone. And with...
I really don't understand that part where you add 6 to the value of the dice in each unit within a number of inches equal to the result. It's always going to be 12, right?
No, because I think it's when it triggers.
At the end of a phase in which the dice besides the end spells reaches 6, this endless spell is removed from play. When it is removed from play, add 6 to the value of the dice beside it, which was already 6.
Oh, so it's just always
Each
getting
unit
12.
within a number of inches equal to the result.
Yeah, so I guess it's
So
always
6 plus
gonna
6
be
is 12, so it's always 12.
Yeah, I don't know why they worded it that way. It seems like a lot of words to just say if it gets 6, it's 12 inches.
Everyone within 12 inches takes
Yeah,
D3.
pretty good. It's pretty good. I think it's
Yeah. If you kill a lot of models, like I could actually see
and with
that
spells too.
why
It triggers on
do.
spellcasting too. So,
Yeah.
I like it. I think we'll see a little bit more of this. I don't know how much, but it's better than what it was.
You remember, how many points this is?
I do.
Guess if it's like super
I had the stupid thing up
cheap.
right here.
Because range value of 12 and it can move too.
Oh, they did. So it's whatever the price was before. It wasn't changed. I don't remember what the price was before though. There's no changes.
I'll just look it up real quick. 30 points.
It's pretty good for 30 points, man. Like that's not bad for 30 points.
It's just a walking bomb
Really
of
is.
D3
It
damage.
really is. Like
With a
you know who
5 to
it's
cast.
like Soul Blight or Gits. Like might be.
So many people can
Yeah,
take this.
it's pretty good. Prismatic Palisades, I think got a little worse. I think it went up in casting, and range. It's a bigger range now, but you have to roll a 3-up trigger in order for that unit to not shoot. I think is what it is now.
Yep, on a 3-up, they cannot make a shoot.
So
nope, not worth it.
yeah, not worth it. It got worse. It's not great. I mean, it's still cheap, but I don't think I'd take it.
I wouldn't say it got worse. It's harder to dispel now.
True. I just don't like. I don't like.
Which makes it actually useful.
I don't like rolling a 3-up trigger after I already do it in the spell, right? So.
I don't want to cast a spell for something to potentially happen.
Purple Sun, pretty much the same. It went down 10 points, and it's going to be easier to cast now because of Primal Dice. So
good.
I
love Purple
Sun's fine. Quicksilver, no change, and Ravenex, Gnashing Jaws, which I thought was going to completely change, still no change. So both still good.
Yeah, you thought that would change?
It's Ravenex, Gnashing Jaws is really, really good. It's really, really good.
Gnashing Jaws is great.
It's one of my favorite spells in the game. Yeah, so no changes there. Alright. Shards got a bit different. It's got a shorter range and predatory range. No longer has to pass any bases, and units can't be set up within 6. So this is one where you can't fly or teleport units that are within this.
It's okay.
I like the fact that you can use this as a kind of like a defensive endless spell to make sure that nothing can get behind you. But I don't know if I'd take it. It's okay. It's fine.
It's good in some matchups.
Situational for sure.
Yeah.
Soulscream Bridge. We can all thank KO for nerfing this.
It got the FAQ it really needed.
And the only reason this got FAQ'd was because KO.
It was because
KO abused it. It's nerfed. Can no longer give or receive commands until the next hero phase for anyone that uses it. It's
such
so
a
bad.
harsh nerf.
That is so bad. Like, you're not taking this ever, right? until the next hero phase.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
that's real bad.
real bad. I'm not gonna yeet my dudes and then just, dude. I don't know, man. I don't like it. I don't think we're gonna see a lot of Soul Scream Bridge, but we'll see. That really hurt KO right there. That hit him pretty hard. Soul Snare Shackles.
I love the Soul Snare
This
Shackles.
got a lot different. So now it subtracts movement within 6 inches, and if your movement gets reduced to 0, you take D6, or is it D3?
It's D3.
Okay.
So, all right, there is one huge problem with this
Okay.
though, and that is its range.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a range of 8 inches, and set at the parts of the endless cell wholly within 3 inches of each other and wholly within
You're going to
range.
be very close to it when you cast this.
Which means that there is a very good chance you're going to affect yourself the first turn and not your opponent.
Now, if you've got good movement, you might be fine with this. But it's going to be very situational on how you set this up. But I don't know. The range is so bad.
It's so tiny.
It probably needs to be like
There is a huge chance that you just affect yourself. And that's like what you're going to have to do. Let's see. So wholly within 3 inches of each other part. So what you're going to have to do in order to not affect yourself is just to put it in a line of all 3 right next to each other, right at the edge. Because they're, 32 mil bases?
Yeah, they're...
That's almost 2 inches. That means if you put it in that way, you're not taking up a lot of space, and you'll be a quarter of an inch out.
It's going to be very situational. If you could... I mean, your combo here is if you could use 2 endless spells with Soul Snare and Ravenex, this could be real brutal.
No, Ravenex doesn't affect it because you lose the movement and the movement phase, not the hero phase.
Does it? How is it worded with the movement? Subtract.
So Soul Snare is at the beginning of the movement phase. Everybody within range loses D6 until the end of that phase.
Yep. You're right.
So Ravenex doesn't. Go with it.
You're right. All right. I mean, meh. It's meh. I don't know if I want to use it. I don't know. It's short range.
No, don't use it.
All right. Then Suffocating Gravetide. This actually got an upgrade. This is better now. It's got better predatory movement and now does damage on a 5-up instead of a 6-up, which is a lot better. This is
good.
This is a pretty good spell, and I think it's still 30 points or something stupid.
It's cheap.
Cheap as chips, and doing a 5-up to
and it's a casting value of 6.
Yeah, real good, real good. I like it. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Blast 2, Burning Ahead, way different. This thing is so different now.
I love it.
I do too. I'm gonna use it just because it's a cool mechanic.
It's so cheap, and it's just...
So you basically, you yeet this into an enemy unit. The model goes, because they FAQ'd it, actually goes away now. The model actually goes away because I think they were worried about how the model would move with the unit that it was attached to. So they FAQ'd it to where you remove the model, but it's attached to the unit still.
All right, good, because that is a very big...
So it becomes part of the unit. It does D3 mortals on a 2-up every movement phase. Pretty good. I don't think the points went up either. Like, this is...
Nope, it's 30... Oh, I think it went up 10 points. It's 30 points now.
Okay, great. Still worth it. So worth it.
Yep.
Pretty annoying spell. But pretty cool. Love it. Umbral Spell Portal.
You can finally unbind through it. That was so neat.
So, yeah, I don't know why they didn't do that to begin. That makes it so unbalanced to not be able to unbind it through it. But essentially, that's all that happened. Is now you can unbind from the other end of the endless spell. Definitely nerfed, but needed. So.
Definitely needed.
So yeah, those are the endless spells. We have 2 more slides here. So the next thing is the Battlescroll Overview. Most people have already seen this, but I just put in some things that were highlighted. Coherency is now changed from 5 models to 6 models. Thank the Lord.
Good.
It was so
Holy
needed.
cow.
I don't know why they chose 5 to begin with when there's so many 3 and 6 model units. Like,
I don't know.
Either, man. I don't know.
Don't know.
But luck, that is a huge and much needed change. Lookout, sir, also fantastic. Now you cannot be
They
targeted.
did the same thing. They took something from 10th edition, because 40k 10th edition has that whole you have to be inside 12
Thank
inches
God.
to be able to
Thank God.
shoot
And
for
this
some
includes
people.
unique heroes too. Like you can be unique.
Yes, I
Yep.
love it
Scragrot
so
can't get
much.
shot off the board turn 1. Love it. Love to see
Yep.
it. You'll love to see it.
You just need to not have a mount.
Blazicorn Murderless got nerfed, thank God, because it needed to. No
Hmm.
longer can you do it to 3 units. You can only do it to 1 for 1 point. So
You can still affect 3 units though in a
you
single
can,
turn.
but you have to spend for it.
It just times 3 the
Yep.
points.
Which honestly is much better. That 3 was overpowered
Yep.
for sure. Everyone knew it.
Hmm.
Soulblight got some nerfs to the recursion.
I think it's such a good nerf that they did.
Yes, it's no longer you can.
It seems very small,
It's
but it's
so
so
good.
needed.
You can no longer go within 3 inches when you drop a unit. Um,
Only during your opponent's turn.
can you do 3 inches on your turn?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know. I did not see that.
Just not your opponent's turn, which means that you can't snipe objectives from your
Okay.
opponent.
Yeah, much needed. And then zombies, thank God it was nerfed. It was so egregious. I think they're still great, but no longer can you string out zombies, remove them from the back line, and still do damage to the front.
Yeah, you deal damage from 3 inches,
Which is
not
how
anymore.
it should have been to begin with. Like even from a
Another one of the-
flavor perspective, like how does the zombie in
Yeah,
the back die
agreed.
and then do damage? Like come on now.
Another thing with Soul Blight is they nerfed. It's now on your turn. The incursion's a 4-up, not a 3-up.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that either. That's a
They
big.
got rid of the wording where you got a plus
Ooh,
+1 during
that's
your turn.
spicy. That because you could go the entire game and not get anything.
Yep.
Ooh, that's spicy.
Like I really like
They needed to
the nerf
because
of it.
the Soulblight win rate was out of control. It was.
Yeah, the 9 inches from your opponent is the big thing. Everything else is kind of. I think they kind of went a little bit too hard on the nerf hammer for points for some things, but
we'll see how it levels out.
Yeah.
Lumineth also got a nerf to the +1 to attacks for the or no, is it +1 to attacks? I think it's +1 to attacks for the healing.
I think it was +1 to attacks, but it got changed to what, like +1 to hit and wounds,
+1 to hit.
like
I think is what it was. So sure, needed to be done. It was kind of egregious.
Yeah, well, what it was you charge the bows. It's been so long since I fought them, I can't remember their name. You charge
Sentinels.
you charge sentinels, and then they get 2 shots
Yes,
at you instead of 1 shot.
Super good, and then just annihilate everything.
Yeah.
My poor Squig herd got nerfed. Much needed, but they did get nerfed.
How'd they nerf
So
them?
they are when you do the when they run away, it's on a.
It's on a 3-up now, right?
Instead of a 2-up.
And you have to choose the closest unit, not any unit.
Oh, I didn't see that. It was still 9 inches though. Is it still 9 inches?
Yeah, it's still 9 inches, but I believe it's the closest unit, not.
Because I need to know that for this weekend.
Yeah.
Where's my gets? Let's see. If you do so, whole bunch of. Oh no. Oh, and they also but that's. Where was it? Oh, I need to go to the actual Battlescroll.
Oh. One of the horrid changes is they made it difficult to actually get to the FAQs. I don't know what they did.
Roll on a 3-up.
Did they fix that yet?
Yeah, pick the closest unit. Okay. Yeah, probably needed.
It makes it so you can't snipe heroes in the back for running away.
I mean,
which was kind of stupid.
It is kind of stupid, but it's also hilarious. You want to kill all those guys? Sure. I'm gonna just run away and eat your 6-wound hero.
15 of my guys run away, and then I snipe your guy in the back because F you.
Good old Squig herd, man. I love them. All right, and then obviously tons of point changes. Tons of point changes. Most things went down, except if you were probably in the top 5 most winning. You got nerfed pretty hard in points.
Yeah, Soulblight got huge point increases
OBR
for most of
also
their stuff.
huge point increases. Seraphon point increases.
Seraph got a lot of point decreases too.
The ones that needed it, they got point increases.
Yeah.
All right, and that's it for the Battlescroll overview. Then the last thing we've got, I went through all the FAQs and just picked out some of the stuff that was, you know, point. I mean, there's obviously go check your FAQ to make sure you know what's changed. But I just picked some of the ones that were, you know, big highlights. Hoarfrost characteristic cannot be modified. So to clarify here, when you change the characteristic of a of one of the melee weapons with Hoarfrost, for this example, let's do it. You get a 2, and you change your hit to a 2, right? You can't change the characteristic anymore. You can't modify it. However, you can change the dice roll of the hit. So you still get all-out attack. That still works because you're changing the dice roll. You're getting a +1 to the dice roll. But you can't change the modified characteristic. Where you'll see this a lot is with the rend. If you give something -3 rend, and let's say it's a knight of some sort, right? Where you charge.
Yeah, most horse unuses.
Yeah, when you charge, you get -1 to rend. Well, you can't get that. You're not going to get -4 rend. It's not going to modify that rend value. So.
There are some things that increase rend, like I know KO does it for guns.
Sure.
Increases rend and all that.
So you can't change the characteristic. It can't be modified, but you can change the modified roll. So just keep that in mind. Most spells, rip, Scragrot. Most spells that deal damage no longer do it on a modified casting roll. They changed pretty much all of them to an unmodified casting roll.
Which is rip all of
yep.
Sylvaneth's
Sylvaneth,
casters.
I think
it's Sylvaneth and Scragrot.
Scragrot. I think there's also maybe a Tzeentch or something in there too. I don't know, but anything that's
I think there's
sure,
one person.
Sure. But it's
Tzeentch.
pretty much all on unmodified rolls now. So rip Scragrot. My poor boy, he got nerfed. Terrain. This one's interesting. This also applies to Soulblight. Terrain has to be contested in order to control them. So the days of sitting next to a terrain piece and then moving away from it and saying that you can still control it is no longer valid. You have to contest it in order to control it, which is much needed.
Good.
So this is going to make the grave sites for Soulblight.
It makes owning grave sites a lot harder.
And I know you're probably thinking, well, Soulblight, the grave sites aren't terrain, but they actually had an FAQ in the Soulblight thing that said 4 grave sites as well. So keep that in mind.
So you're correct. They're not terrain, but they still have the same
rule. They cleaned up a lot of Tzeentch Destiny dice to make them unmodified. There's a lot of stuff in the Tzeentch book that made like the reroll stuff. They cleaned up a lot of that stuff because of obviously the primal dice, right?
Yeah.
They cleaned up the timing of Slanesh Temptation dice. Thank God. This was so obnoxious.
This was very weird.
Like, you couldn't ever figure out how the timing worked with this stupid thing. Like, oh, did you kill my dude first? Or, like, when do you get your stuff? Like, so they cleaned up the timing of Slanesh Temptation dice. Thank God. That needed to be done. Did you know about the Mercanans gimmick thing? Did you hear about this?
I remember it was really bad.
This thing was stupid. So essentially, you
yeah, I remember talking about this.
Cast
and I was like, this is one of the
stupidest
things.
Yeah, you cast a spell, you put it on someone, and when you do that, that unit has to attack whatever. I'm just saying, Skelly dude. They have to attack Skelly dude. Well, when you read it, you're like, okay, cool. So they have to be in range. Like, if I'm in range like 3 inches, they're gonna have to attack Mercannon. It's fine. But they didn't put a range in there, so you would cast the spell on a dude, and then they would run away, and then that unit couldn't attack anyone else but this little Skelly dude. Yep. So they finally fixed that to have a range, because that was stupid. Come on now.
I remember talking about
so
this.
So dumb. Like,
it's stupid.
For people that were doing that, like, come on. Like, that's clearly not what they intended for this. Shame, for real. But whatever. It's fixed now. We don't have to worry about it. Trogbomb got huge nerfed, huge. No longer can you do like 47 mortal wounds in a hero phase.
It's now no longer 47.
Like
It's now
20.
like
Yeah,
15.
exactly. You could only do it once per phase for Trug Bomb when you do the little spell through Trug. So that obviously needed to be changed, and honestly,
It's now no longer incredibly egregious.
and then I have the Gravesite Grand Strategy was also nerfed, just because of what we talked about earlier. And that's it. That's all we got. So lots of info there. Huge change to the game. Like this is going to, and we have this for 12 months. So I hope you guys like Wizards because we're in it for the long haul. So
I like it.
I think it'll be very interesting. I'm very intrigued on how. I can't wait for LVO to figure out what people have got going on. Like we don't have to worry about that changing. Like we know exactly what we're getting for LVO, so pretty excited. As far as next week, I think we're gonna jump into the battle plans and kind of break them down a little bit. This will be good for us, Cameron, because we got to figure out what we're doing for the GT. So we'll do that next week. Any other last comments on anything for this GHB, Cameron?
Not really. I can't wait to actually start playing
Yeah,
again.
me too. I'm excited. Hopefully we can get there this weekend and bring some gets. All right. On that note, please like, subscribe, follow, comment. If there's anything else you guys want to see from an AOS perspective, let me know. Just comment, and I read those comments. And yeah, I will talk to you guys next week. Have a good rest of the week.